Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. My name is Kaushal and today we will learn about operators in JavaScript. So in the previous video, which was the first part on operators, we discussed three operators: arithmetic, we discussed assignment and string operators. So we discussed these three operators with examples, right? So in this particular video, we will cover the rest of the operators. Now we are left with 5 more. These are the first 3 operators which we covered in the previous video. Now we are left with conditional operators, logical operators, we have bitwise operator, and we have comparison, and finally we have the type of operator. So these are the 5 operators we are going to cover today. Before we start with the operators, let us first discuss associativity. Talking about associativity, it refers to the direction in which the entire expression is evaluated. For example, if you have any expression, let's say you have a plus b. So the direction in which this expression will be evaluated, either it will be from left to right or from right to left. So this is known as associativity. Let's understand it with the help of an example. So here you can see I have taken 3 variables. I have taken variable a and I have assigned it value as 12. I have taken variable b and the value assigned to b is 8, and finally I have a variable result which stores the value of a plus b. Lastly, what I am doing is I am printing out the result variable inside the h1 tag. Here you can see I have used the h1 tags, and I have used the plus operator to concatenate the strings, right? I have concatenated these two strings along with the result, along with the answer of result. So the plus operator here is doing two different tasks, right? Here you can see it is performing the addition of two numbers, right? And here you can see it is used to concatenate two strings. So now let's talk about associativity, because I guess you guys are clear with string operator till now. We have discussed them in the previous video, right? So let's talk about associativity now. So certain operators have right to left associativity and certain operators have left to right associativity. So when I say right to left associativity, in this case the value present at the right side of the operator. See, if you are using any operator, for example here we have used the assignment operator, right? We have discussed the assignment operator earlier. So here you can see the value present at the right hand side of the operator will be assigned to the variable which is present at the left hand side of the operator. So it's going this way, like first the computer will check for the value present at the right. It's going from right towards the left. This is what we are known as right to left associativity, and assignment operators like equals to, this have right to left associativity. Let's add here one more variable. Let's say we are adding a variable c, and we are giving it the value as 5. And what we'll do, we'll update result as well. Let me first show you the output of this particular program. See, the output will be value of result is 20 and hi there. Hi there is concatenated with the string value of result is, and 20 is the actual answer. The 20 is the value of result. So let's add one more variable here. Let's say we are adding a variable c and the value of c will be 5. What we'll do now, we will update result as well. Here you can see I have done a plus b plus c. So save it, and here you can see the value updated to 25. The value of result is updated, right? So the plus operator has associativity from left to right. Till now we have talked about right to left as for assignment operators, but for plus operators the associativity is from left to right. It means it will first perform a plus b, and then the value of c will be added to that of a plus b. First it will perform 12 plus 8, and then finally it will add 5 to that value. So it will be 20 plus 5, and that's why the output here is 25. We know that JavaScript is a loosely typed programming language, right? Which means that we don't have to specify data types every time. Like if we are using any data type, we don't need to specify it every time. Like let's do one thing, let's add a string here. So what we'll do, we'll add a string. Let's suppose I'm adding hello. So practically the answer would be hello plus 25 or hello 25. It should be the answer. But let's check the output now. Save it. And here you can see the output is hello 1285. What happened here is the associativity of the plus operator is from left to right. We know this. So it will start from the left and it will see that, okay, the first thing to add is a string. So it will assume that everything ahead of this will be a string. That's why we have the output as hello 12, 8 and 5. So 12, 8 and 5 all are acting as string here. Let me clear this one for you with a little bit of modification. Now what we'll do, we'll remove this string from here and we'll add it somewhere else. Let's say we are adding it here. So let's add one more variable to make it more clear. Let's say we are using variable d and the value will be 10. And what we'll do, we'll perform a plus b before the string and then we'll perform c plus d. Right? So here you can see when you save it, it says 20 hello 510. So when it reached out the first variable, it finds out that the first variable is a number. So it added the first two numbers, right? It added 12 and 8, the answer is 20. Then it came across this string hello and then finally it assumed that everything ahead of this will be a string. So that's the output. 20 is the addition of a plus b and then the string hello, and finally we have the value of c and d as string. So we have the value 5 and 10, not 15, right? I hope you guys get this. So let's move on to conditional operators. The conditional operators assign a value to a variable based on a certain condition. Like it contains a condition and you know for every condition like there exists only two possibilities. Either it can be true or it can be false. There is nothing else you can do with a conditional operator. So it works the same as if-else statements, which we'll cover in further videos. The only difference between if-else and conditional operators that it takes less time, or we can say its usage is pretty easy. So here is the syntax for conditional operators. So it seems pretty straightforward, right? So here you can see we have a variable name, we have a condition. Depending upon the condition we have two values. Here's the example as well. See, you can see we have a variable voter. Next up we have a condition. If age is less than 18, so it will check for the condition that if the value of age is actually less than 18, let's suppose the value of age is 15. So it will check if 15 is less than 18, it's true. Then it will print too young. Or if the value of age is greater than 18, then it will print false, or you can say it will print old enough here. So let's move on to the programming part. So here you can see I have taken a variable x and the value assigned to x is 30. What we'll do, in variable y I have given it a condition. So it will check for x, which is 30, if 30 is greater than or equals to 50. So if it's true, if 30 is actually greater than 50, then it will print true, else it will print false. So we'll check the output once. Let's save it and see. Here you can see the output as false. So if we update the value of x here, let's suppose we are updating the value of x, let's suppose it's 60. Save it now and see the output has changed to true because 60 is greater than 50, right? Also, if you want to write a message here only, you can do it. Write it here as, so we'll copy it from here, we'll copy document.write and we'll paste it here. Let's remove this document.write and what we'll do, we'll use this bracket here. And if any message you want to write, like you want to write value of, so, and now what we'll do, we'll save it. See, it says value of true. So, or you can write any other message here as well. You can write value of x is greater than, or you can write whatever. So if you want to update it like value is, and here we will update true with greater, and here we will use smaller. Save it now. See, here it says value is greater, value of x is greater than y. So that's all for conditional operators. Also one more thing, conditional operators has three different parts, right? and that's why it is also known as ternary operator. Three different parts, as in it has a condition, like here it has a condition and it has two values, right? It has true or false. So that's why it is also known as ternary operator. Next up, we have the logical operators. So logical operators are used to determine the logic between two variables or values, we can say. We use logical operators to check whether multiple conditions are true or false. Here on your screen you can see the three different types of logical operators present in JavaScript along with their syntax and example. So the AND or NOT are the three operators present in JavaScript. The AND operator, here you can see it is holding two values, right? It has x less than 10 and y greater than 1. So the AND operator will return true only if both the conditions are true, like x has to be less than 10 and y has to be greater than 1. So here you can see we have taken x equals to 7 and y equals to 4. So both the conditions are satisfying here. So that's why the output of the AND operator will be true. For OR operator, the case is a bit different. So if any one of these two conditions, like we have two conditions, if any one of these two is true, then the output will be true. And if both are false, then only the output will be false. The NOT operator, on the other hand, will check if x is equals to y. If the value x is holding is equals to that of y. If the value is not equal, then it will return true. I hope you are getting this. That's a little bit confusing, but if the value x and y holding, if they are not equal, then it will return true. If they are equal, then it will return false, right? We'll understand the programming concept of logical operators in further videos when we learn about control statements. We primarily use logical operators with the if statement, through which we'll come across in the following video. In the next video, we will go through the control statements. So we'll understand the programming part of logical operator there only. Next up, we have the comparison operators. So comparison operators are similar to logical operators in some way. They are also used to check for true and false. As the name suggests, we use comparison operator to compare two values, or we can say to compare two variables using different operators. So here you can see on your screen, these are the different types of comparison operators present in JavaScript. We have equals to, we have not equals to, we have equal value and data type, we have greater than, less than, and we have a few more. So I hope you guys must remember from the previous video that a single equals to operator is an assignment operator. So if we are using a single equals to, then it will be considered as an assignment operator. For comparison, we have to use double equal to. Keep this thing in mind whenever you are using any operator in JavaScript, or especially the equals to operator. So if you want to compare two values, you have to use double equals to, because single equals to is used to assign values. This is an assignment operator. So let's move on to the programming part now. So guys, here you can see I have taken a variable x and the value assigned to x is 10. This code seems a little bit longer to you, but that's a simple piece of code. Like I've used almost every comparison operator we came across in the previous slide. I've used each one of them, and I've used the document.write after every comparison operator to put some spaces in between so that you guys don't confuse between them. So let's check the output now. See, as you can see, I have used the double equals to, the triple equals to, I have used x not equals to it. So let's check the output, save it and see. Here it says false, false, true, 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 false, true, false. So for x equals to 8, it compared the value 10 with 8, and 10 and 8 are not equals to. So the output will be false. As similar for 10, and we have used the triple equals to operator, which means equal value and data type. So both 10 and 8 have equal data type. They both have the same data type, that is number, but the values are different. So it will print false. For x not equals to 8, it says 10 is not equals to 8. Yeah, 10 is not equals to 8 actually. So it will print true. Similarly for x not equals to 8, it will check that both the values are not equal, but the data types are equal, right? So it will print true for this as well. For x greater than 8, yeah, 10 is greater than 8, so it will print true. Similarly, it will check for x smaller than 8, and it will check for x greater than equals to 8, and also for x less than equals to 8. So by now you have understood how comparison operators work. So comparison operators are the easiest to use in programming. And that's all for comparison operators. Let's move on to the next one we have. The next type of operator we have is the type of operator. You guys have an idea about the type of operators, right? As we have discussed it earlier. In case you haven't watched the previous videos, let me give you a brief introduction about this type of operator. So the type of operator is used to provide you with the type of whatever value you put to the right of it. Like if you are using any data type and you want to know about the data type of a particular variable, let's say, so you can use the type of operator. It will tell you the actual data type of any variable. So in JavaScript, as we have discussed earlier in the video where we have particularly discussed about the data types. So there are 5 different types of primitive data types, right? We have the numbers, we have strings, we have boolean, we have null and undefined. So let's try to use type of operator. So here you can see I have used 4 different variables, which are I have used variable x, variable y, and variable flag and variable p. So the values are different. The x is holding 17, y is holding hey there, and flag has the value as false. And I have defined p, but I have not assigned it any value till now. So what I'll do, I have used the type of operator to find out the type of every variable. Like here I have used it for x, for y, for flag and for p. Let's check the output now. Save it and see. It says number, string, boolean and undefined. See, here we have given x the value as 17. So 17 is a number, then it says it is a number. For hey there, it says it is a string. For false, it says it is a boolean value. Like in boolean value, we have only 2 values, like false and true. So for variable p, it says undefined. You know, there is a difference between undefined and null data types. Undefined means lack of value, whereas null means there is absence of value, that there is no value at all. So suppose you are using null as the value for any variable, right? The type of operator will return object. But if you are not giving any value to any variable, like you are using the variable as it is, like here we have not given it any value. So if you are doing this, the type of operator will return undefined. So let's take an example of null as well. Let's declare another variable, let's say var abc, and we'll give it the value as null. So and finally what we'll do, we'll use type of operator. Save it and see. Here it says the type of variable abc is an object. So remember this thing, guys. And now we are done with almost 7 operators we had, and we are left with 1 operator only. So let's move on to our last operator, which is the bitwise operator. This operator doesn't have that much of practical usage in the real world. They are not definitely useless, but this is something like we are not going to use on a daily basis. So in computers, if you know, the numbers are stored in binary format. Bitwise operators work on 32-bit numbers. And we have decimal numbers, like we understand decimal numbers. Computer works on binary numbers, right? So when bitwise operators are used, any operand present in the operation is first converted to a binary number and then converted back to a JavaScript number. So here you can see on your screen, we have 4 different bitwise operators. We have the AND operator, we have OR, we have NOT, and we have XOR, or we can say exclusive OR. The result and the answers are also here. It's pretty simple. See, we have used the AND operator before as well while we were in logical operators, but the syntax was different, and here you can see we have a single ampersand sign to use bitwise AND operator. So here you can see how the decimal number first changes to a binary number. Suppose we have x as 5. Here you can see x is first changed to a binary number. This is the binary equivalent of 5, and 1 is also changed to a binary number, and finally the result, whatever result we get, it is changed to a decimal number. So that's how bitwise operators work. Let's take an example of bitwise operators. So here you can see I have taken two variables. I have taken variable x, and the value of variable x is 5, and another variable is y, and the value of y is 1. And then I have used all the four bitwise operators, like I have used x and y, I have used x or y, I have used not x, and I have used the XOR operator between x and y. So let's check the output now. Here you can see, if we talk about the output, see here it says 1, 5, minus 6 and 4. So for x and y, see the value of x is 0, 1, 0, 1, and for AND operators it will return 1 if both the values are 1. If any one of the two values are 0, then it will return 0. So what it will return here, it will return 0 for 0, 0. For 1, 0 it will also return 0. Similarly for 0, 0 it will also return 0, and for 1, 1 it will return 1, which is the binary equivalent of 1. So the answer here is 1. For x or y, it will return 1 if any one of the two values are 1. See, if both are 0, it will return 0. If any one of the two values is 1, it will return 1. It will return 0 again, and finally it has two ones, so it will return 1. And 0, 1, 0, 1 is the binary equivalent of 5. That's why the output here is 5. For NOT operator, it works a little bit different. It gives you the output which is same as minus x minus 1. So minus x minus 1 will be, see, minus x minus 1 will be minus 5 minus 1, which is minus 6. So this is a bit different here. The NOT operator here is a bit different. For XOR operator, or we can say exclusive OR, it will return 4. Why it will return 4? It will return 1 when any one of the two values is 1. If both are 1, then also it will return false. It will return 1 only in one condition. If any one of the two values is 1, then only it will return 1. That's why the output here will be 0, 1, 0, 0. That's why it's written as 4, which is the binary equivalent of 0, 1, 0, 0. So guys, that's all for this video. See you in the next one, where I will run you through control statements in JavaScript. I hope this video will help you. Do give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment your doubts below. Please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe Simplicode. Thank you.